Hey everyone, Ryan Kwan here, and today I am back with another case review for the Apple iPad Pro. This is the Poetic Turtle Series case for the iPad Pro, and as you can tell by its name, this does have this really cool looking turtle design here on the back. And according to Poetic, this design actually helps to offer the case or the iPad more protection. Now that's kind of something that I can't personally measure, so I'm just going to have to take their word for it, but regardless, it does look cool. And you can also see here on the back we do have some branding. So the Poetic logo engraved right there, and also the text version of the logo engraved right here on the bottom. Let's take a quick look at the cutouts. So up top here we do have a cutout for the headphone jack. So you can see there the cutout for the headphone jack. Now the thing with this case is it's really thick in terms of the construction here. There's a lot of silicone, and so it's super thick. And protection wise, that's really nice, but cutout wise, I mean, it leaves pretty much every port cutout on this case very recessed. So this headphone jack cutout you can see right here, I mean, it's pretty narrow and pretty recessed. So not a lot of headphones are going to fit in here, especially not the ones with the really thick connectors. Moving along here, you can see we have a covering for the power button. And on this side we have individual coverings for the volume up and volume down rockers. Here on the bottom, recessed cutout once again for the lightning port. There we go. So you can see it's recessed pretty heavily in there, but we do have that cutout for the lightning port. And of course here on the back there is a cutout for the camera and the microphone. Also, one thing I do want to point out is with this case, you can see here on the left side of the iPad Pro, it's pretty much all blocked off. So you do not have access to the connector for the smart keyboard. So do not plan on really using that with this case while it's on the iPad Pro. So like I said, there's a lot of silicone going on with this case, but there are some benefits from that. And one benefit is the fact that they've been able to design this in such a way that you have a lot of bevel on the screen here, and with that you get insane amounts of lay on the table protection here. So if you just lay it down, there's a good chance that nothing's really going to get on your screen from the surface. At least it's pretty much always in contact with the case. So that is something that's really nice protection wise with the Turtle Series case from Poetic. Also, another great benefit is the perforation they have on the corners of the case. As you can see here on the corners, you've got these perforations, and what's really nice about these is that according to Poetic, that actually helps for drop protection or shock absorption during impact on the corners. So they've really integrated a lot of protection features into this case, and the trade-off is that you have a thicker and bulkier case, but depending on the user, this may benefit you in the long run. So this is definitely a case to consider if you have a need for this amount of protection. Now, in addition to the perforations on each corner here for the added protection, they've also cut out these speaker channels, as they call them, and the benefit of that is added sound amplification. So if I open up the iPad Pro here and I play one of my videos, hey everyone, Ryan Kwan here, and today I am taking a look at the Veris Design High Pro Shield for the Samsung Galaxy S7 Edge. I've got it in the shot. I mean, that thing is super loud, so this case definitely does work in terms of the sound amplification they advertised on their page. Now, another feature that may not be so visible is right above the back of the case here, or right underneath the iPad Pro. On the case, they've cut out these sort of what they call heat vents. Now with this design inside the case, what that's going to do is sort of help the heat flow or the heat transfer from the iPad Pro to make it more efficient in terms of heating. So it's not going to be as hot after you use it for a while. So that's another key highlight feature of this case. It's really going to keep your iPad Pro cool as you use it for long, extensive amounts of time. And during my testing, I have found that it really does help to keep the iPad Pro cool, and I don't really feel any heat from the back of the iPad Pro. So of course we cannot forget this thing right here, and right here is a little Apple Pencil holder. So I've got my Apple Pencil right here, and you can just simply slide it in like so. You can see there's a ridge that goes across this whole back of the case, and with that it sort of contours to the curve of the Apple Pencil, and it just sort of fits right in. And there you go. So really easy, convenient way to store your Apple Pencil here on the case. So the last thing I want to talk about with this case is the only con I could find, and that's the fact that because this case is made out of silicone, it does attract a bit of dust here and there. So you can see one here, and just little bits of dust here and there around the case. But besides that point, this is a really great case, and I would highly recommend it if you don't need to use the smart keyboard. You can deal with a little bit of dust, and you just need a lot of protection. This is the case for you. So that's going to do it for this video. If you guys have any questions, leave a comment down below. Thanks for watching.